Hey, everyone. Welcome. Let me just give y'all the gist of my day, okay? Because this was not my plan. As you can see, I am still like trying to get myself together. I literally walked in the house not even 10 minutes ago. I have taken on somewhat of a part-time job, and I found myself much farther than where I wanted to go and where I needed to be. And I can't even get the damn thing on. Okay. And and it really took me out of my time, right? So again, I want to apologize to all of my viewers, to my guests, because of this. You know, one of my guests may not even be here, and I'm so disappointed. And I can't look crazy with one earring and one not on. So I'm gonna get this on, okay? I'm gonna get this on. But tonight's show, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. This show really hits home for me in a lot of different ways. Hey y'all. All right, I'm put together now. Don't worry about it. This show this week is really near and dear to me in a lot of different ways. It touches on a lot of, I think, what needs to be said and what needs to be examined a lot more in relationships. And, you know, when we think of the word love and we think of the love that we give to others, I think a lot of times people misconstrue that and they redefine what they think love is. So you got all these people kind of walking around with their own mindset and their own thought process of what love is. So today, what we're going to do with the guests that I have, we are going to really dive deep into this and discuss what some of those levels are, as well as how it affects our relationships and how we interact with people, whether it's with family, whether it's intimate relationships, things of that nature. Because again, a lot of us have a warped sense of what love really is. So we are definitely going to dive into that today. So with that being said, I am going to bring up one of my regulars, you know, we're going to bring up Wisdom in the building. Come on up, sir. Come on up. And I am going to bring on my special guest. This is my girl, okay? This is my girl. And she is really expanding her brand as the love doctor, the love coach. So let's go and bring up my girl, Tosh, with Tantalizing Talks. Come on up. How are you?
Ma'am, you was late.
Look, I know, right? I know.
I'm like, I'm finna go to bed, but I'm glad I could join. Wisdom, how you doing tonight?
Wisdom, you're muted. Can you talk, brother? Can you talk? You're muted, sir. Can you talk?
No, this your boy.
All right.
There you go.
There we go. We with some
Yeah,
grease.
I am at rehearsal.
Oh my.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'm into it. How I'm gonna do this? So yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, this is just that
So
night, I
if I
guess.
be if I be if I be in and out, charging my head, not my heart. So yeah.
Okay. We will definitely do that. We will definitely do that. So, Tosh, I'm going to kind of open it up to you because, first off, this is your expertise, right? So, when we think about
I'll
the
be right back.
five love
I'll be
languages,
right back. I'll be
no
right
problem.
back.
Okay. When we think about the five love languages and things of that nature, and first off, what I want to say is that book was an awesome book, right?
It was.
I'm
It
not
was.
here to denounce it in any way, shape, or form. But what I want to do is I want to, and the book is called The Five Love Languages by Gary Chapman, for those of you who may not have read it, right? But my thing is, I really wanted to kind of dive in a little bit on some of the aspects that are talked about in the book. Like, what are some of the five love languages? And then how that correlates with what we're talking about today. Because, like I said, for those of us that are over 35, there are some challenges that
Mm-hmm.
we endure in the dating realm. If we're not already married, it's kind of like one of those situations like, well, shit, are we ever gonna get married? Is that ever gonna happen at this point? You know what I'm saying? Because the dating pool, people, for over 35 gets slimmer and slimmer.
I'm
Okay.
telling you.
It really gets slimmer and slimmer. So we definitely want to work on now incorporating a better mindset so that we
Mm-hmm.
can attract better people. You know what I mean? Because there's good people out there. But it's almost like a needle in a haystack. So we want to kind of limit or maximize it a little bit so that that needle won't be so hard to find, basically. But go ahead, Tosh. Let me get your overview as well on how you feel about this. And honestly, let me just make this affirmative here. If there are any men watching in the audience and you want to be on tonight, look, let me know. Jump on. I will send you the invite link and you come on in, okay? But because we need that male interaction. Now, don't get me wrong,
That's
me and
right.
Tosh, we can handle this. You know what I'm saying? We can do this. But it's no fun without y'all, you know.
Right. And
So,
we need different perspectives of the
exactly.
aspect of the five love languages.
Exactly.
Me, I feel like people express and experience love in different aspects, and the love languages are fascinating. It's a diversity. I don't feel like one love language is like dominant to one person. I think it should be mixed up, and because I got a variety of love languages that I like. So how about you, Miss J? How about you on the love languages? Do you have one or do you have a couple of love languages that you like to intertwine with?
One of, according to that book, I'm gonna just say that. According to that book, one of my favorites is words of affirmation. Um, I feel like sometimes it's important to be told that you're loved or told that you're respected or told that you're valued.
Right.
Not that I base or I validate myself on that, but you definitely want to hear that from time to time from your significant other. You want to know that they understand your value and they
Right.
appreciate your work. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? And that they value you as an individual. So for me, that's one of the big things according to the five love languages as well. But I have my own theory about that, and I discussed that with you also. Kind of have my own theory with that because I feel like honestly, and like I said, I'm not trying to take anything away from the book. I think the book itself really helped a lot of people to understand and to what's the word I want to use? I can't even think of it now. But it brought people to a level where they could actually break down the different levels of love and to really be able to put it in words, right?
Right.
Because love is so broad. The word love is so broad. It encompasses so many different areas. So to be able to, pinpoint or to put that into some sort of structured form, I think that's what that book was able to do. But
Right.
downside to that is, again, love encompasses all of that.
It
So
does.
you don't, it's almost like it gave people the right to say, hey, well, I resonate with these two love languages and not these two or these three. Or I resonate with these and my mate should have these. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like now you feel like you got to pick and choose. And I'm just like, first and foremost, you're supposed to have all of it. Like,
Right.
love is love. You know what I mean? There's no boundary to love.
And research shows that people usually have one dominant love language, and because we all are complex beings, we sexual complex beings, right? So one day we might be words of affirmation, and then the next day we might be, want to spend quality time or receiving gifts, or each day could be something different. That's why I'm saying it's diverse, and I don't feel that one person or me myself should be limited to one love language, because that's not the case.
Right. Exactly. And just to thank you all for being here. I can't see everyone that's here. I know that Nene is here. Hey, Nene. There are a lot of other people on here tonight.
I appreciate all my peoples for joining in. They was texting me, and I know my host was late, but I appreciate y'all for staying with us tonight. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all too.
Thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for being here. And I just wanted to say I'm in the process too of trying to bring some men on, because we need another perspective on this topic, and I have one coming in. Praise God. So
well, if y'all in the comments, text y'all love language. What is your love language? Let us know.
Exactly. I'm sure it's a lot of you out there. If you're not certain what they are, Google them real quick and figure out which one you resonate with. If you have some comments, put that in the comment box. We definitely want to get your feedback as well. And thank you again for being here. All of them. Okay. I am Mama Mia said all of them. Okay. I agree. There shouldn't be just one. I agree. Anyone else have any other comments on that or feedback? Thank you so much. Okay, Amanda, acts of service. I love it. That's a good one too. That it really is. Because you definitely want your mate to be able to, you or your mate to be able to serve one another. That's what, a partnership and a relationship is all about. You serving the other person. Right. It's not just about you.
Not in one aspect either, in all aspects.
And there you go. There you go. There you go. Okay. Anyone else? We love to hear your feedback. This is so fun. I got to have you on all the time, Tosh. I got to have you on. You just, I love the energy anyway. You
already know.
Oh, shoot. Let me try to get one more guy.
All right, let's get it.
Oh, okay, beauty nerd. Okay, what did you have to say, my dear? You said, my partner and I listed our languages from most to least important to us. All of those languages are important in a relationship. However, they may be of different levels of importance to the other. That's a
I
really
like
good
that. I
point.
like
That's
that.
a really
Hmm.
good point. And you're right. And that's why I said, although that book was really good, you know what I mean? It gave a definition, okay, of certain levels. But at the same time, it almost kind of like redefined what love
Hmm.
is. And unfortunately, people have become complacent with just those languages opposed to, how it involves love altogether. You know what I mean? So I think, and that's why I said that comment was a really good comment, because some things are not important to other people, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't reflect that, or that you shouldn't show that, or you shouldn't give that. Just because
Hmm.
it's not important to you per se doesn't mean it's not important to your partner, or it's not important to your mate. And this is
Right,
where
right.
good communication comes in, because if you don't have this type of dialogue with your partner, you won't know what it is that your partner wants, or you
That's
won't know
right.
what it is that your partner likes. And that's so important to be able to differentiate that, because for one, it would eliminate a lot of chaos. It eliminates a lot of undue stress, because you two are now at a level where you're mature enough to be able to have that dialogue where you can talk to one another. It's almost like having your friend. You know what I mean? You want your mate to be your friend. And when you have a friend, that means you open up the lines of communication in every which way, because that's your friend. You know what I'm saying? That's your confidant. You tell them personal things and things of that nature. So this is how love grows. You know what I mean? When you value the person that you're with, or you value the person that you are investing your time in, so that it can blossom into something beautiful. So thank you so much for that, Beauty Nerd. That was a
That was a
good
good comment. That was
one.
good. I like that. I like that. And I'm telling y'all now, if you hear it in my videos, that's the one thing that I always express. Communication is key to everything, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a friendship, whether it's your coworker. Communication is the key to everything. If you can get that person together, you can talk about it, hash it out, whatever. The communication goes a long way.
Correct. Correct. Most definitely. All right. All right. So I'm hoping these two guys will come on. If not, we're gonna be doing this as a girls' night instead.
Okay.
We can always switch it to girls' night. But okay, hold on. Beauty Nerd has something else to say. She says, and establishing these languages during a time, peace instead of argument, so that my husband or I don't feel attacked if we get into a conflict due to lack of love languages during a time. So, oh, and your son is on here, Tosh.
I love my sons. They support me
Oh,
whatsoever.
that's so sweet. That is so sweet. And I just wanted to say, Beauty Nerd, you're so right. Um, it's important. That's why I said conversation and communication really would touch on all of. Chris, oh my God, I'm so glad to see you. Chris, look, I might need you, man. I might need you to hop on. Where's Maria at? Both of y'all can come on. Like, I need y'all to hop on. I need some other dialogue as well. So just let me know, sir. Let me know if you're available. If you can, put a thumbs up in the chat. I will send you a link and invite you on up, because I just miss your commentary. I miss you, brother. Come on up here. Okay. Also, Charlotte said that her love language is words of affirmation.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Again, I said that too. Like, that is so important. But again, we have to be mindful. Thank you, Chris. We have to be mindful, Charlotte, that even with words of affirmation, that we don't put ourselves into codependency, where we are now we're needing that affirmation from our mate, opposed to giving it to ourselves first. I think that's where a lot of us kind of mess up, because when we don't really love ourselves enough, it's almost as if we lean on the other person to kind of fill those voids, and we're not intentionally doing it, but it becomes almost like a crutch for us. You know what I'm saying? So that again is very good. I just feel like sometimes we dilute that when we're
Right.
not
And
gonna.
one thing that, oh,
Go ahead.
sorry. And one thing that I tell my clients is it's about understanding and accepting yourself. You got to love yourself before you love anybody else. And you got to know your body before you even express anything to your partner, to anybody. You got to become one with you.
Correct. So much so. Well, hello, Mars Wings and Things. Miss Sarah, all I do is win Osby. Thank you so much for being here this evening. It is always a pleasure having you. And Chris, is it okay if I send you the link? Can you hop on, brother? Can you hop on? Oh, shoot. Okay, no problem. I get it. Well, I appreciate y'all being here and even showing
You
your
just
face.
gonna have to have a part 2. That's all.
I know, right? And we said it.
Come on.
Exactly. And I said this earlier. I was like, I got a feeling this gonna end up being a part 2 anyway. So I'm cool with it, y'all. I'm cool with it. You know, we just go shoot the breeze tonight. And we're gonna kind of flip this around a little bit. How about we do that, Tosh? We're gonna flip this around, because I think a lot of times men, certain men, not all men, but all right, Chris, I got you. We gonna have you on the part 2, okay? We're gonna bring y'all on the part 2.
We're gonna hold you to it, Chris, now.
I think a lot of men may not really take the time to understand, as women, where we come from with certain things. And I mean, in previous shows this season, I've heard a lot of our male counterparts say, oh, well, women don't listen to us, you know, and this, and the third. And I feel like a lot of times what's actually happening in relationships is men hear one thing and women hear another thing, but ultimately they're saying the same thing. It's right. Just, you know what I'm saying? But it's spoken or it's verbalized differently. So I think when we really get to a point where we take the time to really understand our mate and where they're coming from, they can actually, you know, respond to us or respond to each other better, because they've taken the time to listen. You know, this is why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, because we're supposed to listen more than we speak. And unfortunately, a lot of times we, as women, I've done it, we will run our mouths and say whatever it is that we have to say. And sometimes we don't take the time to actually listen to what's being said.
I'm telling you.
So I feel like that's so important as well. Okay, my wing things made a comment. She said, my love languages are affection, because she likes lots of hugs, gift giving and receiving, talking or encouraging, and cooking for my loved one. Okay, let me tell you something, boo. I feel like, you know, feeding your man is like the road to his heart. Okay, when you can cook and you can just have a meal made from love, oh my gosh, like that speaks volumes sometimes. Okay, that speaks volumes. So thank you so much for adding to that, Sarah. That really makes really good sense, because I do that. I get down in the kitchen when I need to. Okay, so I feel like that's so important. All right, that's how you got your first husband. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. talking about. But again, okay. So we got one guy coming on. He's a little late, but that's okay. We got one coming on. Okay, so Beauty Nerd also mentioned here. She said, I noticed that with my girls, we are quick to jump in and chit chat, and that doesn't work with men. They feel like you're cutting them off and shut down. And you know what? That's so true as well, Beauty Nerd, because I've heard this time and time again too. You know, there are certain ways in which I would conversate with my girlfriends that I can't necessarily have that same, not that I can't talk about the same things, but I can't dialogue about it the same way that I would with a male.
Mm-hmm.
For one, their attention span is not the same. Two, their recollection is not the same. I feel like men are very direct. It's like, get to the point. Where when you talk to your girlfriends, you can get a whole roundabout story. You can get a backstory, the now story, and the future part of the story as well. But you can't do that with men. You know, men find that to be long-winded, and they become disassociated with the conversation almost because they're not in tune in that way. It's like men are very direct when we're talking to them. And I mean, I'll admit sometimes that has been a great challenge for me in my younger years to be able to really have meaningful conversations with men without feeling like I'm being slighted or I'm not really being heard or things of that nature. Because like I said, I want to tell the whole story. But to them, it's just like, well, look, just give me the main points. Or I'm telling the story and they're like looking at something else or doing something else. Their attention is diverted. All because they listen for the key things, but they're not really taking in the whole thing. So that's definitely something that I had to work on as I've matured. And, you know, now I'm much more open to be able to listen. And sometimes I'm going to be honest, I got to bridle my tongue when I'm talking to somebody because I might, you know, have something to say that may come off negative. It may come off a bit strong or what have you. And I'm just like, you know what, let me let them finish. And then I'll say what I need to say. You know what I mean? But I had to make sure that I come from a loving lane. Because sometimes my lane could be, you know, like a dagger, you know, so I got to be careful in how I say things. But then again, like I said, that's another thing with men and women. You know, women, we can be very poignant in how we say things, and it can come off very rough and very harsh sometimes. And it's not all the time because we are angry or we're trying to be spiteful or anything of that nature. It's almost like the passion of what we have to say and how we feel about something at that moment, it comes off that way. So that's another thing. Chris, he said, that's true. Men want the story condensed. Exactly. So it's almost like, hey, just give me the main points of the story, you know, and that's it. So I get that. And it took me a lot to kind of learn that. But I got it now, Chris. I got it. I definitely got it. But Tosh, let's do this. We're gonna kind of dive into some of the aspects of what you do with Tantalizing Talks. So we're gonna open up the floor for you tonight, and we're gonna really put this out there. But before you start, I am going to run a quick commercial, and then we will come right back. And for those of you who may not know, Stinky Stopper is one of our sponsors. You definitely want to try it. I have the link in the previous show's information. I'll put it in for tonight as well. But it's an awesome product. I'm not gonna lie. I've used it. It's not just for the bathroom, y'all, but for anywhere. For those of you, who may be smokers, whether it's legal or illegal, it helps to break down the smell so that you don't have that smoky smell at all. So it's definitely worth purchasing. Now, with that being said, Fred, I am so glad you could come in. This is my dog, Fred Beatty of Trailblazers
What's up?
Radio. Thank you.
So, what's the subject of conversation tonight?
All right, sir. So we are actually talking about kind of like the 5 love languages and how it relates to sex and intimacy to those of us that are over 35. As I had expressed, I know, right? I know. Like I had expressed earlier that, our age bracket, unfortunately, the pickings are slim. The pool gets smaller and smaller as you get older, right? So if you got somebody good, you got to keep them. Like whatever the situation is, you better keep them because it is nothing out here, y'all. Like it really is like a needle in a haystack. And them needles are becoming far and few in between for a sister like me, okay? They really are. So so with that being said, it's like, we were talking about, the different 5 love languages, right? And that book, who is authored by Gary Chapman, very great book, right? But I think it allowed people to have a misconception as to what love really is, because now love has been defined in these 5 areas opposed to love being infinite. And I think people are now just looking at, hey, well, I like acts of service or words of affirmation. It's like you want to limit yourself to these 5 areas when love does encompass so much more. There's a plethora of, affirmations or affirmative words or, acts or things that you can do to show or to express the love that you have for someone. So I wanted to get your take as well from a male perspective, because we were up, and I love your mindset, because it goes deep. It's almost like a rabbit hole sometimes, but it is. But you always have, like, at every layer of the rabbit hole, you got some like hot topics. You know what I'm saying? But the thing of it is, what I want to get from you is, because we were discussing even how with those love languages, it's hard sometimes, again, for women to be able to have a certain dialogue with men and vice versa if we don't take the time to communicate effectively. And I say that loosely because it is still going to be a challenge sometimes, no matter what, between the male and female conversation, because our brains are wired differently. So it's still always a challenge as to how we communicate with each other. It's just the fact of when you meet somebody or you have somebody that is willing and that has expressed that they value you as an individual, it makes it a little easier to agree to disagree sometimes.
That's true. But I think for me, this goes beyond languages as far as I'm concerned. Because I mean, we could talk about these love languages all we want, and we can talk about these languages all day and all night. and we can talk about them ad nauseum, but it doesn't. But you still have to come into the fact that you still have to respect this person. You still have to honor this person. You still have to show loyalty and fealty to this person.
Correct.
So acts of service and physical touch and all those things, they don't have any meaning if you don't honor this person. You don't respect this person. You're not loyal to them. You don't show fealty toward them, because then all that becomes an act. And then, to me, love is more than just language and all that stuff. It's about how that person makes you feel when they're around you.
Mm-hmm.
What they do for you. You know, not just the monetary acts, but also the emotional and the emotional acts too. Because a lot of people, I think, misinterpret certain things, or they pile certain things on with love, and that's not love. So if I'm a guy and I'm buying you the world, and you translate to that, and someone would translate that as love, and that's not love. That's just me buying stuff.
Correct.
You know,
Correct.
how am I respecting you? Am I honoring you? Am I being loyal? Am I being loyal to you? Am I showing you fealty? Am I doing the thing? Am I being a decent human being around? Am I being a decent human being to you? Am I treating you treating you the way that you want to be treated? And are you doing the same for me?
Right.
So people, I mean, we can talk about languages and stuff like that, but if those 5 elements aren't in it, then talking about love languages would be a moot point.
You're definitely right. You're definitely right. So let me ask you this real quick too. From your perspective, what's more important in your relationship, sex or intimacy?
Those are interchangeable.
Right.
I like that.
Those are interchangeable, because I can be intimate with my girl, and we don't have to have sex.
Right.
It's more about enjoying the moment that we have together. You know, enjoying the company, enjoying the kisses, the hugs, you know, the touches and things of that nature. You know,
Right.
if it leads to sex, then of course, you know, did okay, but it
Right.
doesn't always need to lead to that. So for me, they're interchangeable. I don't have to have sex to be intimate with you.
Right.
We don't have to have sex to be intimate with each other. However, with a lot of us, men and women, that is important. That is an important aspect of how we, you know, how we physically relate to each other. And Toya, yes, intimacy is more important than sex, as far as I'm concerned, because one leads to the other.
Well, intimacy is just not sex. Intimacy is that deep conversation you have with your mate, that you know, that he doing his business, and you know, that turned me on when he doing his manly duties. You know, that's a turn on. That's intimacy for me. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't all about intimacy and that leads to sex, but intimacy is when you intertwining not only emotionally, spiritually, and connecting with your mate, but that right there, true intimacy is, yeah. Sex is great, though.
I'm gonna touch on something real quick too, because I think, and I'm really putting myself out there with y'all, okay? Because I feel like it's important, and it's somebody out there that needs to hear this, right? I know, when I would say, at least when I was in my 20s, right? I'm gonna say this, okay? Sex was my friend, okay? It was my good friend, right?
Hell, it was all our friends at 20.
I know, right? But what I found that was a disadvantage to me was that I learned to equate that as love. And
Same here.
that's where I ran into a lot of problems. And I feel like a lot of time, younger women, you know what I'm saying, they will fall in that trap. You know what I mean? Because you think, oh, well, this man or this dude that I'm with, because he is making me feel this way physically, that he ultimately loves everything about me. And that's not always true.
No.
You know, they can love the cookies. They could care less about the rest of
And they
you.
tolerating the other parts.
Correct. So it's almost like you, unfortunately, for some women, you got to go through the growing pains of really understanding who you are as an individual. Because again, this is where even men and women both fall victim. You know what I mean? Because when you don't realize who you are as an individual, you will subject yourself to things that are really beneath your own expectations of yourself. You know what I mean? So
Oh yeah.
even for men, sometimes you will just find yourself going from female to female to female, all because you're looking for something that is lacking, a void, right? And same difference with females. We do the same exact thing. So I wanted to kind of get you all to touch on that as well, because now that I'm over the hump, believe it or not, y'all, I'm about to hit the 50 mark. Woo, woo. You know what I'm saying? It life hits me differently now. You know what I'm saying? Life really hits me differently, and I feel like a lot of the things that I once believed, or excuse my camera, y'all, I don't know what happened, but some of the things that I once believed, I don't believe anymore, and I'm much more realistic when it comes to, you know, the connection that I make with people, or especially with male-female relationships. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
go ahead, Fred. I see you chuckling over there. Go ahead.
Nah,
Changed.
I'm gonna let Miss Johnson go first, because
I was
I
gonna
know
say,
she has a
because
thought.
we changed. That same person you were at 20, you not at 30. That same person you were at 30, you not at 40. And now you finna be 50. All them dynamics change when you dating. First of all, you know what you want now. You know what you looking for. So a man can't come to you and say, you know, I just want to fuck. He can't say that to you, right? You got priorities now. You got
Correct.
boundaries now. He can't just
Yeah.
come and say, "Nah, we finna be friends." I'm telling you now, I'm here and I'm over 45, and I'm not playing that shit no more. I know what I want in life, and if you can't come and we be on the same page, then kick rocks. You go find somebody else to do it, because I'm not doing that. So you know what you want, you know what you expecting in a relationship. So all the time we don't have it no more. You say you finna be 50, right? The time is of the essence now.
Man, look,
Very true.
friends with benefits, that's out the window.
That's out the window now.
Yes,
Who wants to
man.
do all that, man? Who has time? I'm 51 years old. I've been with my girl for 3 years. Never once have I ever kind of even that thought of us as friends with benefits. No, oh heck no. Never have I thought that. We are together and we're building the tribe. We're building towards something. That friends with benefits crap, no,
Yeah,
no,
I agree.
because that's like, now, admittedly, in my 20s and my 20s and early 30s, oh, friends with benefits. Oh yeah, we can do that all day. But have said screw each other like rabbits with no other types of connections to each other. Oh yeah,
At,
that's
at
all. Do
20,
that all day with
I could
no problem.
truly say I am my father's child. I do the 3 F's in my 20s. I feel them, fuck them, forget them. I mean, it's just that's what I'm saying. So At 40, that's not where I'm at no more. At the
No,
same place I was at 20. That's not where it's at.
no, because like you said, as you get older, you change, you evolve, you evolve. Now you try to get to a point that now you want to be in something long term with somebody, or at least building towards something long term with somebody.
Right. Of course.
And
And then you really got to have that conversation that to say you in that relationship when I'm just going to be vulnerable right now in the situation that I was just in, that it wasn't expressed that we was in a relationship, but I assumed we were. So you know what? I got to eat that up, because that was me assuming that he was saying it all along, but I wasn't accepting, and I was hearing what I wanted to hear. And when we hear what we
yeah,
want to hear, that's not the case. That's not what it was. So I can't be mad at him for saying what he said. I got to take accountability and own that. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, because
But
oh boy,
going forward, I know that the next person that approach or whatever, then when they come, we can sit down and talk about these things in relationship wise. And if we're gonna do this, then now we set boundaries and we have those priorities in place.
oh yeah, oh hell yeah. I'm One of the things I believe, and this is something kind of that I picked up from, you know, being married, and being then divorced, being married for 13 years, then divorced. And relationships are not an if then type situation. To me, they're not. They should never be an if then situation. If you do this, then I'll do that. To me, that's condition.
That,
That's conditional.
that's
That's
that
conditional stuff.
conditional
That's
love.
conditional shit.
That part.
I don't do and I don't I don't operate on a if then. We shouldn't operate on an if then type thing, type type arrangement. Because if it's an if then type arrangement, now okay, this ain't a relationship. This is just a whatever you want to call it, situationship, entanglement, whatever you want to call that.
Friendship.
I just can't do the if then now, if then thing now. I mean, I'm with this person. We've been together for 3 years, so we're working towards building with each other. You know, whatever that looks like, whatever that looks like to both of us in there, to whatever that looks like to both of us on this journey.
Right.
And
And as long as
he,
you both communicate and your goals and your vision align with each other, then y'all on the right track.
yep, because I saw that with my marriage, with my last marriage, like because 5 years by the like for the first 8 years was cool. Everything was wonderful, great, and everything. Like the last 5 years turned into this if then type situation, and it wore me down. It wore me down emotionally. It wore me down. It had an effect on me physically. It also affected me mentally. So in this new relationship that I'm in now, I'm first of all I'm in a better state of mind, a better
Hmm.
place. And now for me, as far as expressing what I feel, especially when it's something that I feel isn't right or isn't correct, or speaking or pulling somebody to account, I'm cool. I'm a lot more open with that. When I was married, it wasn't that case because there was always this fear of being admonished for something. And now it's like,
Hmm.
okay, I, now I'm gonna say what I want. Now I'm gonna tell you what it is, and you can take it or leave it with a grain of salt. And at the end of the day, it's you take it. It's either something that's gonna help you, or it's something that you go listen to and help you, or you don't listen to it and you get harmed. I'm not gonna be the one to harm you, but not listen to what I may say or what I may have to advise you may harm you.
And I'm back, y'all. But Bonds Wings and Things said that sounds like a contractual agreement, not a loving relationship.
You'd be surprised how many people, men and women alike, entering those types of relationships,
That's true.
knowing good well that's what it is, and then later on down the line trying to change the parameters of it and failing.
Right. That's true. But again, that's because it hasn't been clearly defined, right? So this is why, again, and I can't stress this enough, y'all, communicate with your mate. You know what I mean? My thing is, okay, for instance, I'll give you a prime example. Now, most of us as women, as young girls, we have this fantasy idea of what our relationship's gonna be like, and what our marriage is gonna be like, and what kind of home we're gonna live in. We just have this whole made up fantasy of how our lives are going to be, right? But if you don't, first off, have a more realistic view, or even when you meet someone, you have to talk to them to see if they even correspond with anything that you've conceived in your mind as far as what you think a marriage or a relationship should look like, because y'all might not even be on the same page. So
Yeah,
now
you gotta have that compatibility.
Correct. So it's almost like you're now jumping into something with these over exaggerated expectations that this person is not going to meet, because you have not discussed that. You know what I'm saying? You haven't put out there, hey, like, for instance, I love the show about Tyler Perry's sisters, right? And one of the characters on the show, Sabrina, she wants to have children. But now the guy that she really likes doesn't want kids. But this was never discussed. You know what I'm saying? It's like, had these things been talked about, that might have limited the interaction that she had with this dude, because he is now not going to fulfill what it is that she desires to have. You know what I mean? And I feel like sometimes, whether it's male or female, because we don't put out there what it is that we're expecting or what it is we anticipate in this mutual bond with this person, we set ourselves up for our own failure sometimes, because we haven't established those lines and in our communication to say, hey, this is what I want. If that person doesn't match or is not willing to meet that, then hey, it's like I'm gonna end up investing time into somebody that's not worth my time, so to speak. You may be good people, but you're just not good for me. You know what I'm saying? You're not able to meet me at my need. So I think it's almost like, for men and women, we really have to cut the fluff. You know what I'm saying? Say, excuse my language, but say what the hell it is you want. If you are at that level where you know what it is that you want, we gotta start being more direct, because trust me, when you get past a certain age, after 40, I'm sorry, you ain't got time to play around. You just don't have time to play around no more. You have to be direct in what it is that you desire to have, or otherwise you're just gonna continue to kill time.
I mean, look, and that's I call it the Barbie syndrome. You looking for kid, but this person ain't kid. This person that you met ain't kid, but you still have these lofty expectations that you're gonna pile on this person, and that's not fair. That's unfair to a point, because this person probably isn't capable of meeting. This person could probably meet one of your expectations, one or two of your expectations, and then you're gonna get peed if he can't meet the other 500.
Right.
I mean, he met two of them, but you're mad because he can't meet the other 500, and it goes both ways, man. It really goes both ways, because we as guys do throw expectations on women too, and some of these expectations are so unrealistic, so lofty, so just like way just out there. And I look at it like, well, ma'am, I can't meet that. So you might need to go somewhere else because I can't meet that. I can't do that.
Right.
I'm a basic dude. I mean, if you got a basic aspiration and stuff like that, we can work from basic and then go up to intermediate, then advanced. But
Right.
if you started off at advanced and I'm at intermediate, that's not gonna work.
Right. Exactly. I wanted to touch on this comment that Beauty Nerd made as well, because this is so true. She said, in the clear communication, for example, I want to be married again versus I'm interested in a long-term relationship, but I don't want to be married. So you do have to know what you sign up for. You know what I mean? And I don't think a lot of people pay attention to that, because I'll give another prime example. I'm putting my life out there a little bit, okay? But a lot of times I have had myself in situations where a man will clearly say to me, well, that's not what I want. But because I'm looking at one way, I'm looking at one thing, I'm not really paying attention to what he said. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, that might be the day it's gonna change. You know what I'm saying?
What's
But
the issue?
ultimately, men tell you. They may and I will say this, sometimes they are not direct with it, but they will subliminally tell you what it is that they want and what they don't want. And if you're not paying attention, you're going to get screwed. Straight up.
You're going to miss it and assume that's what you're going to do.
Exactly.
So you want to be clear about your priorities and communicate openly. Just put it on out there.
True.
What can I say if he don't want to be with me? What can I do?
Nothing. Right? I mean, of course, you'll be upset and a little sad about it, which is a natural thing. But not much else you can do in that instance, because if someone states their intentions, whether it's male or female, and they tell you that they don't want to be involved with you, or they don't want to be involved with you in that manner, you got to acknowledge that and you have to accept it. Of course, be upset and be sad about it, because maybe that was something you was looking for, or maybe that's something you were anticipating or wanting. But you can't get mad at somebody for you can't be mad at somebody for telling you truthfully what they are looking for, as opposed and what they are not looking for.
Right. Very much so.
But sometimes people tell you what you want to hear.
That's true. That's a charlatan,
because they don't want to lose you
right
as that person, or you know what I'm saying? So be upfront about what you want and just take time to listen. Because like I said, Miss JS, you was off the thing. As I said, I had to eat that up, because I assumed I was in a relationship and that ain't what was stated to me. It was stated a long time ago that it wasn't. So we want to be, like I said, upfront about what you're looking for, and take the time to listen to that person's your potential partner's understanding and values and goals, let alone with yours. And if they align well, then y'all can maybe go forward. And if they don't, y'all could choose to go your separate ways.
But even with that, oh, go ahead, Fred. I'm sorry.
Because ain't nothing worse than two people that are misaligned.
True.
That's the worst thing, because you on this side thinking that this is what he wanted and everything's honky-dory as far as you think it is, but this person on the other end miserable as hell because this is not what they wanted, and maybe they expressed that to you a long time ago probably in a lopsided way, or probably in a slick way, but maybe you heard that, and then you say, well, nah, I didn't hear that. He or she didn't say that.
Right.
But I'm still gonna do this because I know I can change this person's mind about wanting to be with me. And that's what happens. And then the lines of communication get crossed, and all of a sudden now you by yourself, and you ask yourself the question, how the hell did that happen?
Right. Well, I mean, and as you all were talking, I was thinking I'm definitely gonna have to do a show entitled this, but Tosh was talking about again how we will, like if a man or something is telling us what we want to hear, or vice versa, even if a woman is telling you that, it's almost as if they are utilizing you for their convenience.
I was
right?
gonna say they telling
so-
us what we want, but they digmatizing us at the same time.
Well, that
So
too.
we get
That
confused
too.
at what's what, right? So
That too.
you know
Been
what I'm
there,
saying?
done that, wrote the book. Okay,
You
really,
know it.
really.
The
For
people
real.
can do that. I mean,
For
they
real.
can tell you this one, they can tell you this all this sweet stuff in the ear, and they can be putting it down on you, like you know you've been wanting to get put down on, and this person has done it, this person has put you in all kind of spasms and stuff before. And man, look,
You like
it
we
happens
together,
on both
we
sides.
together, damn it.
It happens on both sides. I promise you, it happens on both sides
It
because
does. It really does. It really does.
For real.
It
For
really
real.
does. But the thing
You
of
putting
it
it on
is,
them
it's
right, they
still-
like we together.
yup,
exactly, exactly.
and this person like what?
It still
Yeah, that
boils down to, though, that person is using you for their convenience. You know what I mean? Because ultimately, they're not looking for any type of commitment at all. You know what I mean? So I'm
They
that
just want to
makes me
smash.
realize I'm gonna definitely have to do a show on that commitment versus convenience again, because it's definitely something that is prevalent in the male and female aspect. Because when does it really become a commitment? How do you know the difference of that commitment versus just being convenient for somebody? You know what I mean? Because that goes back to even friends with benefits. That's a convenience. I can call you when I need something and go about my way. That is because I've made you a convenience. But technically, I'm not committed to you. You see what I'm saying? So,
Yeah, technically you are for that moment of convenience.
well, that's true too. But still,
So technically you are committed to that person for that
commitment.
moment of convenience.
True, but long term, there's no commitment. So I could easily say, hey, well, this good today, but I found something better, so now I'm out. So you're no longer of a convenience to me. So, and there was never a commitment. That's where you get those lines of, oh, well, there was never a relationship. We're just friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you become a convenience, you're not really committed to that person. So it's easy for you to just drop it and move on, because there's nothing really invested.
I mean, but men and women do that all the time. You know,
You're right.
I'm here. You here. You hear my beck and call. If I call you at 2 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
you already know what's up.
Right.
You know, if the only phone calls that you get are the 2 o'clock in the morning phone calls, then you are. I think that pretty much defines what the parameters of that particular relationship is.
Correct. One of our listeners, thank you so much for joining, Marianne. She says, listen for the messages, not just the words. Note what is conveyed by body language, eye movement, and tone of voice. So true, because a lot of times people will use their body language to speak for them. And we don't pay attention to that. But those are the subtle clues that can really decipher that situation as a whole for us. Because again, people can say people can talk all day long, and they can say the stuff that you really want to hear, but are you paying attention to the signs? Are you really paying attention to the clues that you're being given?
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because the body will give subtle clues as to what someone's feeling. Someone folded their arms, maybe like, I mean, they're exasperated, don't want to hear it, you know.
So true. And Carla, she says, we need to stop having expectations of others and start verbalizing what works best.
That is correct.
So I want to push back a little bit on what she just said.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we as human beings have expectations of each other. That's something that's just not going to change. So whatever expectations we lay down for one another are what they're going to be. I think we need to understand what our expectations are and find a way to either work around those expectations when we come across somebody, or see if we can try to get that person to kind of work within the parameters of what we're looking for, what we want, or just leave it alone, period. I mean, just to just stop having expectations of people, to me would be kind of ridiculous, because I think you have to have expectations there, because that creates to me, it creates healthy ambitions for people. I mean, if you and I'm talking about not on the relationship side, I'm talking about in a business and in life. That creates healthy ambitions that people can aspire to. Now, relationships, that could be more of a bane than a help, because lofty expectations may be that somebody will never get the relationship that they want, that they so desire, or better yet, even or someone who has low expectations don't get the relationship that they desire, or better yet, they get into a relationship, but it's not the relationship that they had expected or desired. So
Right.
we can have our expectations, but we have to be aware of what we get out of them, what we get out of those expectations. Like I said, what you put in is what you're gonna get out. So it's cool to have expectations. Just be aware of what you're getting with those expectations.
Correct. Um, okay, we are going to do another quick commercial break here, and then we are going to come back.
Does your business need more visibility? Need more affordable marketing platforms? Don't let your foundation crumble. Advertise with us, shaking up the algorithms, where we shift your marketing one show at a time. We have package prices starting as low as $25. Contact us for more details via email, twinforceproductions@gmail.com.
I created this space so that you can have a place to come to and just speak your emotions just freely with me, so that we can help you to unleash all of those inner powers that you have, and you are not willing to let go of them because of the limited beliefs that you have, I may have about myself. So I created this safe space for us to come to, so that we can reach our highest potential.
Living the moment, catching the vibes, conversations with CC, inspiring people, breaking the boundaries, showing the simple. If you did a dream big, I just wanna teach you, making your lives amazing.
Come on in and have a conversation with CC.
Conversations with CC.
All right, so I wanted to, again, on this break, give a shout out to our sponsor, one of our sponsors, Conversations with CC, Carla Smith. She is a coach as well. She focuses on career coaching, but she does dabble in relationship coaching as well. But her expertise is career coaching. So if you are in need of services, I will make sure that you have the link in the information box on the YouTube page, so that you can reach out to her for further assistance or details on her services. Also, as you notice as well, we have advertising packages. So for those of you who are interested, go to the email and put in your response. We will definitely send you out a services form to kind of let you know the different services and products that are available. And we hope to have you on the show. So, with that being said, let's come on back. Let's see. Oh my goodness. Carla had a lot to say during the break. So let's put that up here. She said, most honest people are going to tell you what they want. We have to stop thinking we can change others to get on the same page as what we are wanting. She also stated, I truly believe that a woman knows when a man is playing her.
And vice versa.
Yeah. And that is
vice
true.
versa. And vice versa.
That is true.
And
The
vice
thing
versa.
of it is, even sometimes, whether we are aware of that, we'll still find ourselves going down the rabbit hole and assuming otherwise.
See, I'm gonna put it like this. I'll put it like this: if you have the intel and you don't act on it, then it's your fault
True.
for not
And
acting
that
on the
is
intel.
true. That is true. That is true. That is true. Ultimately, yeah, you're right. Ultimately, you can't blame the other person because you already know that person has already showed you. Like the adage that says, when a person shows you who they really are, believe them.
I'm
You know,
telling you.
a lot of times we don't want to believe it. We don't want to believe it. We want to continue to assume the unrealistic view that we have made about this person. So it's almost like, in some ways, we become a glutton for our own punishment.
Yeah, but one of the things you have to understand that also dating is an intelligence gathering process. I'm gathering intel on you as a woman, and hopefully you're gathering intel on me as a man.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever intelligence you get, you look at it, you analyze it, you act on it as you see fit. So you can't get mad if you got actionable intel and you didn't take action on it. That's not on the other person. If you got knowledge on something and then you sit on it and don't take action on it and then you end up getting hurt,
Mm-hmm.
that's not on the person. That's on you. You had actionable intel and you didn't act on it.
That's true. That's true. Well, we are definitely going to make this a part 2.
Yes.
Now, Fred, I don't know if you want to come back. I want you to come back, but I don't know what your schedule is looking like.
Sundays is I'm off Sundays. I'm free on Sundays. Let me know what's up.
All right. That's what I'm talking about.
I want to know what happened to the other dudes that was supposed to be up here.
And I'm saddened to say, he dropped the ball, but it's okay. I know he was at work.
Right.
So that was a little bit of a challenge for him, and I can definitely understand, because I'm delayed myself tonight because I was at work.
I'm about to say, dude, we as dudes ain't scared to talk about this. What's wrong? What's going on?
Well, that's why we're gonna have a part 2, because we got both of our regular guys that weren't able to make it tonight, and I definitely want to get their viewpoint on this as well. This right here, trust me.
Oh man, Dedrick, Lord have mercy, Jesus. Man.
Yes, exactly. Dedrick alone, I'm telling you, he's gonna have a field day with this one. Okay, he's gonna have a field day. But what I want to do before we close out, Fred, I want to get you to again give some information about you and how people can reach you on social media, and I want to do the same as well with you, Tosh. Of course, both of you are going to be back, but I still want to give people a little insight about who you are and what you do. So go right ahead.
Ladies first. Ladies first.
Look at that. All right, Miss Johnson. Go ahead, girl.
Okay, y'all. I am Tosh. I am the love coach, your go-to love coach. And you can follow me on Instagram, TikTok. Everything is Tantalizing Talks. That's my business. What I do is help discover who you desire to be. a lot of us have had trauma in the past. And, I had a dark period in my life where I didn't care about anything and I was doing what I wanted to do and doing things that I shouldn't have been doing. But when it comes to terms of us and being in tune with our bodies, women are afraid to express how they feel, and they have that body shame of I'm not comfortable with my body. So I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you get there. I do it all in workshops, individual one-on-one coaching, retreats. My next retreat is June 21st to the 23rd. So if you haven't signed up, sign up for my retreat. It is Flaunt Your Inner Goddess retreat. And then I have, I'm a speaker in April at Loving Yourself First in Texas. So if y'all out there in Texas, come on out. You could get your tickets on Elevate with O. So I got some things going on, but if you need help and if you want help, just reach out to me. You could email me, tantalizingtalkswithtosh@gmail.com, or you can DM me in the TikTok or the Instagram, whatever you want to do. I'm here for you.
Look at that. I can't top that right there. But I will try. Hey, first of all, Miss J, thank you again for having me on. For those that know me, for those that don't know me, well, for those that know me, and for those that don't know, let me introduce and reintroduce myself. I am Frederick Beatty. I am the CEO of Trailblazers Radio. We are a diverse podcast platform, and we talk about a myriad of subjects. We talk about a whole bunch of things. I can't even start from where to where. But first of all, one of the things we do, we don't mind walking through closeted doors, because walking through those doors is a path to freedom, is a path to healing, is a path to revelation. There's also a path to knowing who you are as a person. So, but we talk about a myriad of subjects, man. We talk about everything. Myself, Miss Latanya Harris Gooden, also known as LHG, Coco Fenton, Tony and Kai, man, we do it. We talk about it all and we do it all, man. If you guys want to reach us, we are all over social media. We have a TikTok page at Trailblazers Radio. We have an Instagram page at Trailblazers Radio. We also have a Facebook page. All our social media is Trailblazers Radio. If you want to reach out to us and talk to us about a show idea, or if you want to be a guest on our show, we can be reached two ways: via email at trailblazersradio, this is with a Z, at gmail.com. And we also have a toll-free telephone number, which is 866-252-93. Hold on. 9374. I had a brain fart for a moment. 866-252-9374. The other thing that I want to put out here, I also have a space on Facebook called Man Cave Conversations. Mm-hmm. It is a safe space for us as men. Dude, guys, I want you to come follow me on that page. I try to post a positive message on that page at least every day if I can. And then I also stream a lot of my check-in podcasts to that page too. So look, y'all come follow me over there, man. We can have a conversation. We can talk about whatever. It's a safe space for us. So again, Miss J, thank you for having me on. I appreciate you. And let's get this thing started.
Yes,
I'm looking for a radio to be a guest.
Oh shucks! Look, I'm telling you, between her and LHG, you gonna have some problems on your hands, buddy. That's all I'm gonna say.
Come on. Hey, I'm good. I'm good with that. I welcome problems always.
Well, wisdom, like I said, we are about to close out, but we're gonna do a part 2. But for right now, I would love for you to make mention as to how people can follow you and reach out to you, because you're like one of the regulars. So I definitely want to give you that opportunity. So you go right ahead, sir.
Hello, everybody. Let me reintroduce myself and to introduce myself like Keaton just said. I am Wisdom Car. I am located in Atlanta, Georgia. You can reach me on Facebook, BEEBUTLER. That's BEEBUTLER. Also on Instagram, B the writer, BEDARIGHT ER. All that together, lowercase, B the writer. So whatever you need, holler at me. I got you. If I don't have it, I find it. Promise
Okay, I like that. If
I
I
love
don't have
that.
it, I'll find it. I like that. Okay. Well, again, thank you all for being here tonight. I think we're gonna do next Sunday as the part 2 if we can. I'll make sure I check with everyone's schedules to see if that's feasible. If not, we can do it a different Sunday. But this was definitely a scratch the surface moment, right?
Yeah.
It is so much more we can dive into, and I definitely want to find out. I'm like I said in the beginning, we're gonna go down this rabbit hole together. Okay,
we already in the rabbit hole.
I know.
We're going deep. Ease on
It's so much more. It's so much more because we really got to get into how tantalizing talks. How all of these other levels of intimacy, all these other, we need all these other levels of intimacy to come into the conversation as well. And she knows exactly what I'm talking about, but
they ain't ready to talk about intimacy.
I was just saying that, Wisdom. I don't think they ready.
See, they want to talk about the surface, but they don't want to talk in the rabbit hole in them. So,
oh no,
I'm down for it. Let's get it.
Me too.
We going there.
Tosh, we gotta catch up.
There you go. That's why this is called Real Talk Conversations, because we're gonna have some real talk.
Yes, we do, Wisdom. Yes, we do.
But thank y'all so much for being here. I am going to release you, and you all have a blessed night. And I will be reaching out to each one of y'all this week. So peace out. Love y'all.
Tosh, reach out to me, baby.
Now, for the rest of you all, thank you so much for being here. This has been a night of all nights for me. Just trying to make sure that, I got myself together and things of that nature. So, thank you all for being here. And I am going to close us out as I always do with a few words of wisdom, y'all. Okay, so let's just keep it honest. This show as a whole, we scratched the surface on a lot of different areas. But ultimately, love itself is just that. It is the infinite, component of what we do to express our gratitude, express our joy, express our value that we have for another person, whether it's through acts of service or affirmative words or gentle touch or giving your man or your woman a great love down session. These are all different ways in which we express that love and information to one another. So I definitely want to get more feedback from each and every one of you. If there are other topics that you would like to discuss as well, please reach out to us. Leave us a message on the Facebook page or go to our our email, twinforceproductions, PROD@gmail.com with your request. And I look forward to seeing y'all next week for part 2, as well as any other show that we have. I definitely value everything about each and every one of you all. So I am so looking forward. So with that being said, you all have a blessed night, and I will catch you next week. Have a great one, y'all.
our social media page.
Tune in for our next video. Make sure to like and subscribe. And don't forget to turn on post notifications so you won't miss out on any future